Warren, this is the first time that we're sitting down with you since you stepped down from the position of CEO of Berkshire Hathaway.
Yeah.
It was a long, long run, very successful run. How is your life different today?
Well, it's not much different, except for I go in every day.
To the office.
Yeah, I go in every day to the office. I don't accomplish hardly anything. I mean, in terms of, it just takes me way longer to do things, and Greg is so good. It was kind of embarrassing how good he is, because he has covered, we've got about 200 businesses within Berkshire, that came about. And I can't name the managers' names or their wives' names, and I haven't seen them, in a long time. It was easier just to write the letter once a year and kind of do my own thing. Greg covers more ground in a day than I would in a week, even when I was at my peak, let alone my present condition. So it's a move that, in many ways, I could have done it earlier, and Greg would have been better than I was. But, I can still contribute just a tiny bit. But
are you still involved in making investments at all?
Yeah. But I won't make any that Greg thinks are wrong. Mm-hmm. And he'll run. He's starting to get a few calls, and he'll call me about them, and like me, he doesn't like them, but
calls for deals, you mean?
He'll keep me posted. Yeah, it's investment bankers calling him.
Okay.
And they'll sell them, they'll try and sell anything, but I cut him off in about 10 or 15 seconds, and he spends more time with them, but I don't know where he gets his time, because he plays hockey with us. I mean, it isn't like he's as fanatic as I was, in terms of running the place. But with no more apparent effort, he just covers so many bases.
In terms of what you're doing with investing, I mean, it's a huge amount of money. How much cash does Berkshire have on hand at this point?
I don't know the exact number, but it's not much different than before. So, it's probably north of $350 billion in cash and treasury bills.
Yeah. So
we bought $17 billion this week.
$17 billion of T-bills?
Of T-bills.
Berkshire's the largest owner of T-bills?
I think we're probably the largest bidder, and ironically, I got involved in Solomon because they bid for too many bills, and I don't think they'd get mad at us now if we bid for too many. But you're not supposed to go over 35% or something in the auction, and of course you bid through the primary dealers. But I don't even know the mechanics that well. But one fellow in our office handles all the mechanics of the stocks and bonds we buy.
Mark Millard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And any place else, they'd have 25 or 30 people. And he loves what he does, and I love what he does. And he's down the hall about 20 feet, and about every hour or hour and a half, he brings me in what we've done. And
what Berkshire has done, just in terms of the markets that day?
Yeah, I call him. I call him before the market opens, because I see what's been going on, pre-market, and probably change the limits only. I don't get lots of different stocks or anything like that. But every now and then I'll introduce something, and I will change limit prices daily.
But you don't do that. You don't check with Greg before you're doing that. You check with Greg on a regular.
Well, Greg gets the sheet every day.
Oh, he does too.
He doesn't get it quite as fast as I get it. I mean, but it probably gets sent over at the end of the day or something of the sort. And if Greg differed with me on anything, we wouldn't be doing it.
But you're still making new purchases?
Pardon me?
You're still making new purchases?
got one tiny purchase, but we aren't finding things that we weren't finding them before.
Well, let's talk about that. The market has come down substantially.
Not substantially.
Well, you've got both the Dow and the NASDAQ in correction territory. It's the worst performance on a quarterly basis for stocks in about 4 years. Do things look cheaper to you?
No. 3 times since I've taken over Berkshire, it's gone down more than 50%. I mean, if you look at the markets of, the worst probably was the 2007-8 period, although there was that one Monday when you had 21% in a day. I mean, this is nothing. I mean,
well, this is nothing to make you get excited and think there's huge valuation drops.
If they're 5 or 6% cheaper, that doesn't. We aren't in it to make 5 or 6%. I mean, but we aren't a big seller either. In the end, we own businesses. Sometimes they're wholly owned, sometimes they're partly owned. That's what I like to own. And 2/3 of our money or more is in our businesses. And we bought Occidental Chemical on January 3rd. That was $9.7 billion. And as far as I'm concerned, that's got some advantages, some disadvantages for owning a stock, but it's got the same principles attached to it. It is a business, and it's a business we expect to own, indefinitely.
I mean, it doesn't sound like you're necessarily finding businesses that you want to own flat out either, not just purchasing portions of them. If you've got $350 billion plus sitting around.
Yeah, and we get calls all the time, and they're silly calls, but like I say, it takes me 5 seconds to say no. Greg's a little more polite than I am, but I just as soon get the calls just to see what people are doing. But they aren't offering anything that's at an attractive price, and what they want is a trade.